Alright, Shalom, all praises due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone. Shalom and salutations to you brothers out there pushing the word of truth and sincerity. Right, I'm Rapah Moth, and today I'm going to go into a video on ancient world techniques and how they would have worked better for America, and the fact that America got rid of a lot of ancient world techniques, in particular punishments. Alright, how punishments is administered, America loses out big time. All right, and I got the scriptures lined up. First, I'm gonna start off with Deuteronomy 25:1. All right, because as we know, there's 613 laws, statutes, and commandments in the Bible. Many of these laws, if you broke in the ancient world, you were put to death. Meaning they were certain laws that would cause, in order for wickedness to be blotted out, or a wicked trend not to start, you would have to kill that man and put that man, woman, or child to death. Many instances throughout the scriptures. I mean, that's what law is for, so that order in society can be upheld. Now, in a place like America, everything goes, man. We come to a time where the younger generation is more wicked than the past generations, and that's because the law is slack here. All right, they allow so many laws to go unchecked, and they create new laws every day. I mean, recently I hear that one of the old Supreme Court justices is trying to do his best to do away with the Second Amendment, which is a law that's been in the American Constitution ever since it was created, not with all people in mind you. It was created for the so-called white man, the Edomites. All right, so we can care less about the laws of America, and this is further proof why America is going to fall very, very soon. Now, the book of Deuteronomy 25 in verse 1 says, if there be controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them. See, because there's judges way before America. All right, matter of fact, there's a whole book called Judges. We are the Israelites, Negroes, Latinos, and then Native Americans out here. All right, yeah, you were born in captivity, and this is your land of captivity, America. And whether you in South America, whether you in some parts of the island, whether you in all the way to the eastern part of the world, Europe, Asia, if your line goes back to the Israelites, then you're supposed to be taking heed into what the Bible says, not what your country and your statutes of your penal codes of your commonwealth or your state tells you, or your country tells you. All right, but we're not a terror. The evil that is set up, as it tells you in Romans 13, is not a terror to good works. Let me get that real quick before I jump back into Deuteronomy. Romans 13:4. For he is the minister of the Most High. Minister meaning servant. Who is he? Edomites, the ruler class right now. Their nation of people. All right, stemming back from their forefather Esau, who is one of the sons of Isaac. Okay, he is in rulership. All right, Job 9:24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. Okay, so the so-called white man, Edom, is ruling right now. The power of the earth is given into his hands, and he does this through his laws. He does this through his taxes, and he shows the world that he's the boss. Okay, he is the minister of the Most High, meaning he's a servant to the Most High. So at the end of the day, no matter who's ruling, they are just doing the will of the Most High. All right, when the Most High puts a wicked people into power, he wants wickedness to flourish throughout the world. Okay, and he wants his saints, he wants his elect to get right. It says, for he is the minister of the Most High to thee for good. But if thou do that which is evil, this goes for you Israelites out here in America, wherever you dwell in. If you're doing that which is evil, be afraid. So the whole point of this punishment is so that you could be afraid. The whole point of putting the Esau into power is that so we can be afraid. Because the so-called white man is notorious for killing and murdering, stealing, raping, and robbing nations of people at a time, countries at a time, putting them into debt, seizing their land, seizing their natural resources. It says, for he beareth not the sword in vain, for he is the minister of the Most High, a revenger to execute wrath upon him that doeth evil. So we don't come instead of being fearful of the so-called white man. He's a person, he's a nation of people that are set up reap havoc throughout the earth. They doing that just fine. All right. They commissioned more building of nuclear missiles. They're bringing up more nuclear arsenals. All right. They're mining and doing all this hard drilling into the earth for oil. All right. Causing all these earthquakes to lash out throughout the world. They're causing they have heart machines, heart programs to send ions and electrodes throughout the air to change the weather, manipulate the weather for their liking. All right, they're taxing the hell out of you people. They change and manipulate money and currency on a daily basis. Okay, and then they say they do it in the name of peace and democracy, and we can see that's a lie, because history proves itself that once they rob and rape you as a people and they run you dry, when they don't need you anymore, they wipe you out. Just ask the Native American population right now, who used to run the whole country of America. All right, now they're subject to small zoned areas where agriculture barely grows, what they call reservations. Okay, only animals that's about to be distinct is where Esau puts them into reserves. But here it goes. They got the people of this land on reserves. All right. Going back to Deuteronomy 25, if there be a controversy between men, and they come unto judgment, that the judges may judge them, because we had everything set up in order in the land of Israel. It says, then they shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. That's the point of a judge. If he's not justifying the righteous and condemning the wicked, he's not a true judge. And here in America, an Israelite, and a so-called white boy, Edomite, for the same crime will get 2 different sentences. And it happens all day, every day. And nobody can stop it, because it's the corruption from within, and this place is rotting out through corruption. So, as we read here, a true judge shall justify the righteous and condemn the wicked. It says, and it shall be, if the wicked man be worthy to be beaten, that the judge shall cause him to lie down and to be beaten before his face, according to his fault, by a certain number. And he was beaten before everybody. So you would walk outside your house in the ancient world, if you could visualize. You got your garment on. You're walking outside in ancient Jerusalem, and you're seeing men getting lashed. Or you might look to the right or up towards the hills and hear crying out as men getting their lashings. You see, and there was an example. You would hear them screams, and you didn't want to take place in it. Now, and fast forward to America, what happens when a man commits a crime? He's shipped off to Rikers, never to be heard of or seen again until he's done with his time. Next thing you know, 5 years later, he's walking the street like a regular civilian again. No, where's the fear involved with crime in America? Okay, you hear stories, but for the most part, people keep committing these crimes. There's no fear involved. It says 40 stripes he may give him, and not exceed. That man will get lashed 40 times. Lest if he should exceed and beat him above these with many stripes, then thy brother should seem vile unto thee. And this is not cruel and unusual, because you couldn't go over 40 stripes, and if you did, you're going to get the same. All right. So now we learn that there's something called public humiliation in the scriptures. All right. Now in Deuteronomy 21:18, it says, if a man have a stubborn and rebellious son, which will not obey the voice of his father or the voice of his mother, or that, this is dealing with your children, and that when they have chastened him, will not hearken unto them. So you got a rebellious son. Then shall his father and his mother lay hold on him, meaning seize him, take him, okay, which is ancient world speak for the ancient word rape, to seize. It says, and bring him out unto the elders of his city, and unto the gate of his place, and they shall say unto the elders of his city, this our son is stubborn and rebellious. He will not obey our voice. He's a glutton and a drunkard. And all the men of this city shall stone him with stone. Now, where does that take place in America? I ask you, this Bible Belt, not even in the Bible Belt South, does this take place, where stubborn and rebellious kids, and there's plenty of them down there, as well as up north, as well as the west to the east, all over the world, plenty of rebellious Israelite children. Why aren't they being stoned? Hell, if the so-called Jews consider themselves to be the real Israelites, how come they're not keeping this practice? It says, he will not obey our voice. He is a glutton and a drunkard, and all the men of his city shall stone him with stones, that he die. So shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. Now I'm going to stay on that for a second. All Israel shall hear and fear. What does that mean? Put evil away from among you. There's a term, and I got the definition, called scared straight. Being scared straight. Now we all, remember a show. Majority of you know a show called Scared Straight, where they would send troubled teenagers for a day trip to the prison, and they would bring them up to the holding cells and throw them in there with some of the lifers. All right, guys getting 25 to life and whatnot, and they kind of talk straight to them, man, and they scare them straight. Okay, scared straight means idiomatic, to frighten someone. It's an idiomatic word. It means to frighten someone to such a degree that a significant improvement in behavior results. Being scared straight. Going back to the scripture we just read. It says, and all the men of his city shall stone him with stones. All of the men of his city. So you took part in the execution of rebellious children. That's the law. So a lot of jakes out here that claim they're keeping the law, you're not keeping the law. If you haven't stoned a rebellious child yet, it says that he die. And the point I'm referring to is that be not over righteous over much. All right. Some laws is even though it's a law, some laws aren't expedient, meaning it's not the proper time to be keeping, or a situation to be keeping 100% of the laws. Even though we know them, when we rehearse them the best of our ability, we do not keep them 100%, and it is impossible to keep them 100%. These laws of the Bible are completely anti-American. Okay? It says that he shall die, so shalt thou put evil away from among you, and all Israel shall hear and fear. Now this is Leviticus 20. That's being scared straight, man. That's what that's about. Not hearing about somebody go up top and going to visit them once in a blue moon. And then when you get to visit them, when you go to these jail cells, or you go to these visitor rooms in the jails, what they call conjugal visits or whatnot, and you go to them, a lot of times the Jake looking like he just enjoying life, man. He's sitting back, getting big, he getting sharp, he reading. That's not judgment, man. That sounds like summer camp. All right, that don't put fear in your heart. Man's up there learning how to play chess. Man up there got a degree in Sing Sing. He up there in Pelican Bay getting wisdom. All right, that ain't fair and justice, man. Judgment. That ain't punishment. All right, Leviticus 24:16. And he that blasphemeth the name of the Lord, he shall surely be put to death, and all the congregation shall certainly stone him. Once again, more stoning. I mean, you might have been at the wickedest, most vile times of our nation's history. We might have been stoning twice a week. This one, adultery, stone. This one, blaspheming the name, stone. This one, idolatry, stone. This one, rebellious, stone. This one, homosexuality, burn with fire. Okay? We was blotting out wickedness left and right. It says, and all the congregation shall certainly stone him. Certainly. That means without a shadow of a doubt. We're not doing that here. That's not taking place in America. It says, as well as the stranger, as he that is born in the land, when he blasphemeth the name of the Lord, shall be put to death. The stranger too. Everybody was shook. Don't speak no words about the Lord, lest your ass get put to death. And them times is so far from us right now. All right, you got kids out here being rebellious as hell against their parents. You got our men of our nation, big stocky men of our nation, bending over, getting on their knees, blowing rod. Women transforming into men of our nation, of Israelite people, man.